good afternoon. It's Monday the 27th of January 2020. In Australia, it's our Australia Day public holiday, which actually was yesterday, January the 26th. But given it was a Sunday, we get the Monday. So there could be a few of you home or out doing exciting things. I'd like to wind up and finish talking a little bit about this book, Finding Nevo. Good play on a well-known title, Finding Nemo. Oh, my cat's here. Come on. Say hello. This is one of my cats, Gallery. Oh, look, there you are. Say hello, everybody. Oh, she's comfy. She's purring. She doesn't mind looking at herself. Anyhow, Finding Nevo. Wow, an amazing story of a young Melbourne person finding themselves. Absolutely beautiful story that encompassed all the things we were talking about last week in all of the novels. First we had Middlesex about Cal, who discovered she was an hermaphrodite, and people's views on what they thought she should do before she decided that she would become not Calliope but Cal. And then we looked at the husband's secret and limiting beliefs and how being focused on one thing and not being honourable to your truth can affect you. We also looked at Lane Moriarty. Oh, that's Lane Moriarty's husband's secret. Also looked at Gary Dish's piece about an outsider in a country town and all the things that he did and his values. And then we looked at 5 Go Gluten Free, about doing things in our life that are appropriate for us. So Finding Nevo brings all of these things together because it's about someone who had to work out who they actually were. Who was Nevo? And it's quite interesting that it's quite late in this story that we find out Nevo's original birth name. And it's because Nevo has finally come to terms with being Nevo, or Nev, has their own set of values. They know who they are. They conquered some of their limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs that every time they went out, people would be staring at them and going, oh, I know who that is, or that doesn't look right. Well, it's about being confident in yourself. It's about being confident in who you are and not having those limiting beliefs. And the most beautiful bit, and I mentioned it just very briefly last week in this book, how Nevo, as a final section to the book, goes and writes and imagines. I think of my past as fractured. At each stage of my life, a different identity. It makes me sad that I will never again meet the people I used to be. I have a lot to say to them. I wonder how they'd react to me. I find solace in imagining a party where we're all attending, and I'd like to share that. So we then get a beautiful section where Nevo talks to their 4-year-old self and their 10-year-old self and their 12-year-old and their 17-year-old and their 18-year-old self. Absolutely beautiful. It's really similar to a process we do in hypnotherapy, where we travel your timeline, where we can get a person under hypnotherapy to go back and actually see what was happening in a previous part of their life, but be an observer, not necessarily be a participant. And when we observe the things that happen to us as a third person, it's really quite interesting what perspective we can gain. Of course, we're not caught up in all the emotion and everything. So it's a really beautiful section. And that's what I really want to talk about. And that's why I'm bringing this group of books to an end. Because it's all about who am I? It's not about who other people think you are. It's about who you are, who you know yourself truly to be. We're all some of our genetics. We're all some of our learning. We're all, as the old saying, nature and nurture. We're a mixture of those things. But sometimes we get caught up in the nurture and the nature so much that we forget to think about who we are and who we want to be. What's right for us? Who are you? Who are you is a really big question for a lot of people. And women and men get this middle-aged, what do they call it now? I've forgotten it. Oh, dear me, sorry. Someone can remember what it's called, where we all, middle-aged crisis, thank you, where you just begin to wonder who you are. What are you doing? You've done all these things. You've fulfilled all these roles. You've been the student. You've been the mother. You've been the wife. You've been the worker. You've been all these things. But have you ever stopped to be you for you? And that's what I'm doing this year. I'm working out me. And gee, it's really exciting. It's really exciting when you get that little itch, because you know that there's something you have to find out about yourself. There's some real truth that you need to do. It takes time, and it needs you to be very reflective. Look at yourself. Work with your coach. I'm working with my coach to work out what it is I want to do with the next phase of my life. So if you want to work out what you want to do with the next phase of your life, call out to me and we can see how you and I can work together. Angie, there could be ways that we could work together. I'm sending lots of love to Jeff. Make sure he's fine. But when you actually realise, like Nevo did, who you are, like Calliope did, when she realised she was brought up as Calliope, but her DNA, her actual genetics said she was Cal. It's just really amazing when people start to look deep inside themselves that they discover who they are, not who other people think they are or who other people want them to be like. 5 Go Gluten Free was just all about what Anne wanted the 5 to be like. Even poor old Timmy had to get involved. So who are you? Not who other people think you are, not what other people want you to be, not what you do. And it's really interesting to go back and observe some early memories. I've had an amazing time observing some of my early memories. Really young, like 3-year-old me, some of my earliest memories I can remember. Why do I remember them? Because they're quite pivotal in your life. So if you get to my age, nearly 58, and you've got this memory of yourself at 3 or 4 that's burned into your brain, why is it there? What's it there for? It's there for something. It's there to give you a lesson. It's there perhaps to show you where some of your limiting beliefs started. So if you want to have some good reads over the summer, read Middlesex, amazing book. Read any of Lane Moriarty's books, they're just brilliant. Read anything by Gary Disher. And I'm going to have fun reading a few more of these parody Enid Blyton books. But whatever you do, realise that when you're reading a book, you really could be reading about yourself, because it's all about the human condition. And the human condition is what I want to work with this year. And you know what? I love this modern age that we can now talk like this, and I can be talking to someone in Myanmar or Spain or just down the road in Narre Warren, because I can also work with people via this sort of technology, via a thing called Zoom. So it's just made the world so small. And the fact that I get on these Zoom calls during the week with people from all over the world blows my mind still. So I want to leave you with this question today. Who are you? Who are you? Not who are you in everybody else's minds. Get back to me. First one who gets back to me, we can do a session together on me. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day, and if you're here in Australia having a nice public holiday, hope you've been out in the sun with your sunscreen on, and have a lovely day. Bye for now.